In terms of the running back rotation, you mentioned you wanted to get multiple backs out there, and it looked like you were able to accomplish that Saturday. How happy are you with the way you're able to get multiple guys into the game at certain points?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue doing that. I mean, our job is to distribute the ball to those guys. And whoever's hot is going to probably get it a little more. We're talented at that position and some other positions. So, I mean, you know, competition is good, and so there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, on the same hand, you know, you got to get as many people involved as you can get, but you also got to get the person that's making the most plays the most involved. And so it's a balancing act on our end, but I thought for the most part, with the number of plays we ran in that game, which wasn't many, the ball got distributed pretty well. And so hopefully when we start running more plays, which we intend to do, you know, the ball will get distributed even more so.
Heading in, would you have been surprised if your lead rusher was only going to have 10 carries in that game?
You never know how a game's going to unfold. I mean, everybody on the outside looks at it as 10 carries. Would you rather me hand the ball off 30 times into a bad box? Is that what you want me to do? Well, I mean, that's not what we did. And so we're going to try to take advantage of what the defense presents. If that's handing the ball, then we're going to hand the damn ball. If they put more people in the box, then we're probably going to throw it 90% of the time. And so a lot of the time the defense dictates how much you run or how well you run. Alabama's going to take away the run, period. That's their defensive philosophy, is they do not want you to run the ball on them. And if, you know, we could have sat there and tried to if that would have made people happy. But in my opinion, I would rather try to win the damn game.
Then you talked about the run game opening up the passing game. I mean, and I think you mentioned it after Saturday that you were able to do more things, those screens, dumping it off into the flats, because they were playing the run the way that they were.
Yeah,
how much did that open things up for you?
I think it did. I mean, you got to have a quarterback that's seeing leverage and sorting out things, especially when you're playing fast, because a lot of those short passes are run game called. You know, probably most of the plays that we called are run game called, and it's his job to get the ball. I mean, he hit one deep throw to Kevin was inside zone called, and he threw a deep ball and we completed it. Now, in your opinion, we probably should have handed that off and got 0 yards. I would rather take advantage of leverage and throw the damn ball up, you know. So that's what happened.
How was Clint's decisions? Did he see the things that you wanted him to see?
I think he did for the most part. There was probably 2 or 3 plays through the course of the game where I felt his eyes were bad and feet were bad for whatever reason. There was one where, you know, he had his feet set quick for a hot throw. The receiver didn't look as quick as he wanted to, and so then his eyes went bad. And if he would have just went to Kevin on the shallow, you know, he would have hit him and it would have been wide open. But, you know, you're going to have some of those. But I thought it was probably 2 or 3 plays where his eyes and feet were bad. But for the most part, I thought his poise was excellent. His presence in the pocket, I think there were times we extended plays, which was great to see. He's been doing that in camp, of extending plays and getting the ball out, and it held true in the game, which is awesome. You know, could have, I mean, it was some big plays, could have been even bigger a couple of times, but for the most part, his presence was really good. I mean, I will say that, I mean, he's got, I mean, especially now that he's the guy. You know, there's a different presence and different click to him, and so he has an air of confidence right now to him that's good. And so it's good to see, like when you have communications after a series and it goes out there and you can see exactly what you talked about, you know, that he can see the game slowing down to him in a way, you know, which is good to see.
Do you remember last year after his first start, how you felt? Just be able to almost say he did okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm trying to remember back. Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, I forget exactly how the game unfolded other than we completed a few deep balls on him and won the game. I mean, he got injured late in that game. But I thought, for the most part, in that game, I thought he played pretty well. At least good enough to win.
He had to go pretty good late.
Well, he did. But he was hurt after the game, too. Now, and one reason we named him the starter in the offseason is because going back and looking at the games, it was obvious that the kid's talented, the kid's capable. You know? So, I mean, and he get a whole nother year.
How much different is it?
Way different. Yeah, I mean, I think that and he would probably admit this too. I mean, his focus and his ability or willingness to come in here and spend a lot of hours in here with us in days that he really doesn't have to, increased. You know, and that's a product of being happy. You know, a lot of times, you know, when he got here, it didn't unfold exactly the way he wanted it to unfold. And I had conversations with him about that last year, and I thought that when we started in the Oklahoma State game, and I talked to him before that game, and I was like, you know, things in life seldom happen exactly like you want them to. It's just the way it is. And so you gotta take what you're given and make the best of it. I thought his attitude, you know, and a testament to him too, is when we started Paul and when we started Ford, his attitude was great. His attitude on the sideline was great. His attitude in the meeting rooms was great. The kid understands football. He understands the dynamic of the team. Even though things weren't working out exactly the way they wanted to for him, he understood that his part was to be positive and be a good teammate. And so when his time comes around, I thought he did a good job of taking advantage of it. He just got injured. You know? What do you do? He got injured and he didn't play very well.